Hi, welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie. Let's continue our exploration of exploring three character Chinese expressions. So yesterday we talked about 抢手货, that something is so hot, some merchandise, something you want so much, you have to go rob it from the shelf by your own hand. That's a Chinese dramatic expression from the buyer's point of view, that you have to go there, get it. Okay, so today is the exact opposite of that. That something is such a slow sell, slow moving sell, that the seller have to jump off high rises, kind of a suicidal depiction. One of the ways to suicide, right? So 跳楼 is suicidal pricing. That means it's really going to hurt from seller's point of view. So that's a Chinese dramatization of like a deep discount is really hurting the seller. At least that's the message passing to the consumers who are, bargain buyers. So if somebody is dramatize it to market it to you that I'm really killing myself right now here by giving you this price, that's the sentiment pass it to you. Okay, 跳. I add a jump off, but of course Chinese doesn't have such off thing in there. Chinese would just directly say 跳楼. We all connect the dots, like a jump with high rise. What are you doing? You're jumping off from the high rise. That's the motion. So Chinese don't use small words as in English to kind of finish off the meaning, what it is. We just connect the dots in our mind. Okay, 跳, we have 足 on the left side and 照 on the right side. 足 came from the foot symbol with a kneecap. So this is a little bit hard to explain of why Chinese abstract 足 in such a way. The foot symbol, just like in Chinese, oftentimes describe hand symbol with three-finger hand. So this foot symbol, I cannot stick my foot up here to the screen to demonstrate. We have 5 toes, but Chinese simplify it to 3. This, you can see as a big toe, is connected to the arch or to the sole of the foot. And then this is the middle 3 toes. I guess they're running on the same nerve. So it feels almost like one toe there. And then you have a little toe, pinky toe, sticking out like that. Chinese abstraction of the foot symbol. And now it's not even physically realistic to have your kneecap situated directly above your middle toes. It doesn't spatially making sense, right? But I guess we can sort of make sense because spatially the kneecap is above your foot. So the whole thing here, 足, actually is a Chinese way to talk about the foot itself. So I don't know what the foot, the kneecap there is doing. Why adding a kneecap make it foot? Just by the foot itself is not foot. Well, the foot itself here actually means stop because Chinese have an expression that means non-stop, means walking. Have these 3 strokes to give you a spatial sense of the foot tracks you left there. To tell people that that's actually walking. So by foot itself, then logically would mean not walking without those 3 strokes, right? So then to talk the foot by itself, something else have to add there because by the foot icon itself, it means stopping. So somebody add a kneecap above it to mean, okay, look below the knee. That's the foot we're talking about. Okay, in any case, this talks about something related to your foot, the physical body parts on you that serves many, many functions, right, in our mobility. So the right side is 照, is a Chinese way to say, it's kind of a Chinese unit of measurement in quantification of things. That's the biggest unit. We have 十, 百, 千, so 10, hundreds, thousands, and then 1 is 4,000. No, like 10,000. So 10,000 in Chinese is a unit. And that's regularly, I mean, in everyday life, probably that's enough. But then when you have zhao means 1 means 10,000 and 10,000 again. That's 8 digits over there. So 1, 8 digits. That's in English, that would be hold on, I probably give you the wrong impression because E is the 8,000. So what is zhao? Okay, gosh, I'm not going to know. It's a huge number. Anyways, it's probably corresponding to roughly corresponding to the English version of trillion. So we have billion, trillion, right? So billion is closer to Chinese E. E actually is 100 million. And so zhao is probably the 12th digit. 12, because Chinese group their numbers in 4s instead of English group them in 3s, right? 3 zeros. So tian and then E and no, actually 1, 4 digits, and then 4 digits is E, and then zhao is the 12th digit one. So it's super big number. Anyways, it came from the depiction of the cracking on a seashell. So cracking on a seashell, I guess like this is the space of the seashell, like in between. And then this depicts the crack in there. And then here, the 2 vertical lines is the hand holding the seashell. So I guess in this sense, jumping, it connects to this super big number in Chinese corresponding to trillion. That, like, I cannot make the sense of why it actually means jump. But if we look at the cracking of the seashell, the turtle shell, actually, a turquoise shell, that used to be the ancient record keeping saying because that lasts longer than paper, right? So this cracking connected with the foot symbol, then that could be explained as if you're jumping, you're going to impact the ground, and something probably can show nearby with cracks showing, and that's how you depict the jump. Because otherwise, how are you going to express jump, which is a motion that have at least the 2 positions in space? You're landing on the floor, ground, and then you're off in the air, and this repetitively, I mean, 1 count as well. So at least you have 2 positions. Like, how are you going to capture in a static frame? So that's Chinese indirect way to say, okay, you have your foot, so zoom in to the foot behavior, and then you have this cracking next to it to mean the ground near the foot crack. And that's as a result of your jumping off it and impact on the ground again. Okay, low, we have the tree symbol. That means the material of this high rise. I guess in ancient times, most of the architectures are made of wood. So we don't have much left. And unlike in the Western culture, a lot of the castles are made of stones, right? Or something lasting longer. Chinese, most architectures are wood. So this, when you're talking about high rise, that in Chinese concept is at least 2-story high. You at least have an upper stair. So the left side of the wood symbol simply means the material this building is made of. And wood comes from this canopy of the tree and then the root of the tree. The right side, it actually means kind of a semi, oh gosh, I don't know the English word for it, but it's kind of a hollow. Okay, I guess hollow is the way. So hollow came from the mother symbol. Okay, so this top portion is mother symbol. It got twisted turns and contorted. You can hardly see it's a mother symbol. But this horizontal line originally depicting the 2 nipples or tits. emphasizing the breastfeeding feature of the mother. So that's how you define mother as a mother, as a language, depicting that breastfeeding moment that you have two nipples sticking out. That's originally, and eventually to simplify, to streamline the, to reduce the strokes, instead of drawing out two nipples pointing like at an angle at different directions, connect the horizontal line. So this horizontal line is that's main feature of motherhood definition, main feature. Okay, then the bottom is a woman symbol with, I guess, a hair thing stacked on top of that. This woman symbol comes with this hip looking thing and with this kind of like folded hand. So that's a behavioral depiction of what a girl should look like. Okay, so the body should look like that, and the hand should fold it neatly in front of them. That's the societal, requirement of how women should carry themselves. Okay, so together we have mother and this woman symbol. Why it becomes hollow? Okay, so there are some theories or possibilities there. One is mother or woman entering motherhood have their womb, and that womb, once they give birth, is going to be the hollow, like unused body parts in their bodies because no baby inside. That's one theory. And the second theory of low, well, this is sound maker apparently, but I'm trying to make meaning out of the sound. So the mother symbol plus the woman symbol could mean there is this transitioning between woman and motherhood that it's hard to pin it down. So it's different phases in life, right? And when they are connected to each other, and that somehow becomes the hollow. I guess for a woman to become a mother, you have to hollow yourself out, meaning you have to give in birth. So there is that life phase implication out there. So I mean, as a culture, you can embed all kinds of implication in there. And in later days, we can only imagine what why language creators put this mother and a woman symbol next to each other actually means hollow. So something related to motherhood, something related to birth giving, and then that something related to that empty womb. That's the meaning that I can figure why this means hollow. Okay, so wooden hollow structure in Chinese means high rise. So I guess it kind of depicts the space created by having the hollowness at lower and upper, at least a 2-story high structure made of wood, and that's how Chinese define it as high rise. And I guess that the hollowness in there was emphasized because not all high rising structures are necessarily hollow. And there are actually ancient Chinese structures at the bottom is like a totally solid, and then you have the second floor that's enterable. It's a space for human to be there, but the bottom is a solid big piece. So hollow, I guess, is emphasizing both the bottom and the top are hollow. So this structure, that means you can enter both spaces and on 2 levels, at least 2 levels. So that's Chinese definition of low. And now jia. It's super interesting, like how Chinese define price. Okay, it has a person symbol on the left side, 2-leg standing beam. That's human figure. Now, the right side, you can see it's kind of a human figure as well, with a kind of elongated leg. I guess that elongation is to adapt to the context of the 2 sizing here. That's kind of it's not exactly transformed, but it's readjusted the shape of the human figure. So you can see structurally they are the same. They have left and right, two sides, two legs, and then have this top portion. It's kind of a super small shrunk head, and then have two sides. And this actually is a side view of that person. You can view this as the upper, like the arms, and then here is the legs, and here's the butt. You can visualize that as well. So the person, elongated leg, person symbol, is standing in between these two borders or two lines next to it. Actually, Chinese use this symbol to mean the borders of that person. Originally, this actually means the armory. So in wartime, armory is a must if you want to prevent getting killed easily, right? You cover your body in armory, and this outside only use two pieces to mean you're covered in the front and the back as well. That means you're covered, you're within a border that's not easily invadable, right? You're protected. So that eventually means the border. I guess in contemporary fancy word is boundary. So you have your boundary around you. I often thought, interesting, the East and West or Chinese now in America, I feel different boundary setting here, not only spatially, like Chinese have a much smaller bubble, like in a queue, like if a guy standing behind me, in Chinese culture, that guy can stand pretty close to my butt. They don't see a problem. But in America, that would be very offensive, right? So people over there have a different bubble size of what's your invisible physical border. And also the boundary, the sense of like a social interaction sense, it's totally different boundary setting as well. But I saw it here in the language. That means Chinese do have a sense of boundary, of borderline in between this person as a protection to that person, to keep it integral, like not easily harmed. That came from the ancient armory practice. Okay, so this then got deduced into interface because humans, okay, we are in a shell, each of us, in a sense that we're in a shell. We're not facing to the world directly of our true like skin exposed to the world. Not exactly that. We have the psychological shell over there. Or if you say that the boundary or the bubble, that we have this invisible sacred space. As we're moving through space, some part of the space belong to our personal sphere. Like people, unless it's your family, your friend, your lover, that can be within your bubble. Most people socially have to be, social distancing, okay, is a COVID era of 6 feet. That's the regulated bubble setting, but we do have personal bubble setting. So this then got deduced into this interface. That's the sphere, or what's on the surface of your bubble. That's the interface of you next to the world. You're not next to the world directly on your skin. That's too close. Every one of us have a bubble outside ourselves. It's invisible. It's culturally defined and mentally defined. And then that's our interface with the outside world. And also, like, people behave differently in different settings. So like you these days we appreciate people to be authentic, right? As they show their true skin. But it rarely happens. Okay, so this interface next to this human figure then becomes a Chinese way to say it's a price. I would imagine this interface means you have your boundary. As a person, you have your in today's fancy word, net worth, or you have a value of yourself. Therefore, when you're doing this exchange of ideas, exchange of money or merchandise, when you're doing that exchange, you already know where your pricing is at, like you as a person, what you have to offer. So that interface of a person with the world, when you're in a trading sense, that interface not only defines your sphere, but also defines your value as well. Like there is this sense of how much you bring to the world or to the table in today's word. Okay, so 跳楼价 is again marketers marketing gig to say we're really suicidal here by offering you such deep discount, and this is a killer price that you just simply cannot refuse. And that's Chinese 跳楼价. All right, catching to the currency of thinking by one word a day with Sophie. See you another day.